Ascending Windy Peak now, holding true to its name. I've gotten quite a bit of shade from clouds on the sagebrush step here. They're not really darkening yet though. You can see the heritage of the wind, the growth form of these trees. Look how skewed they are. That's because the wind predominantly swoops in from the west and slants them eastwards. Windy Peak summit. About to leave the southern end of the range and head back into the north over there. Dominated by Mount Moriah. No storms seem to be materializing, in keeping with the drought, I suppose. But the clouds do offer some welcome shade. This would be hot, brutal, open terrain right now if it weren't for the big layer of cloud to the west. So I'm grateful. Quite a bit of wind development down there, but where's it all going to? I can't even get a cell phone signal past 7 days yet. There's 5 big rows of windmills out there. So the main ridge I've been following all day, past 2 days really, it's supposed to have lots of trails and roads on it and whatnot on the GPS, sometimes on the maps I've been looking at too, but there's been nothing. It's been all cross country. And suddenly, the ridge turns into a road and starts to descend downwards into a large network of roads. That means I'm near civilization indeed. There's a major highway ahead. My last resupply point is at Sacramento Pass, right ahead too. There's a sub-range of the snakes there. Not sure what's going on with that, but the main crest here drops down that way, and I'll be following a network of roads through the PJ zone there. Don't have to drop down into the desert for this second crossing of the valley here. First crossing having been lower down, the excitement of the ranch and everything. So yeah, that's the current status. And after I hit the last resupply point, it's straight north into the mountains again. Time to head towards the car. Pretty surprising to me how much is going on here in a cell phone dead zone. They operating via satellite phone probably. It's not like they're living the Stone Ages out here. On the contrary, this is not Hicksville. These people live well. So there's a big development down there. No idea what that complex is. Maybe it's related to the wind. I don't know. But there's at least a dozen buildings there clustered together, and probably quite a few more I'm not seeing. And then there's buildings below me ahead. Not sure what's going on with those either. All those roads probably signifies tons of ranching occurring out here too. We're not in the park anymore. It's the first pinyon. Second one. Seen in 2 days now. Been in higher and wetter places overall. Now descending into the hotter PJ zone as a nice wall of cloud to the west covers up the sun. Good timing. A random series of tubs here. We've seen these together. Silver Peak. That was a lifesaver. Someone has to come fill those up periodically. That must be once a week or so with the heat lately. Sagebrush starting to send up flowering shoots. They're not open yet, but they're starting to. 3/4 of the trek finished. Now ahead to Mount Moriah area again. Started way at the top of Wheeler this morning and only made it this far. There's clouds to the southeast, looking a little more moisture rich than yesterday, but still probably too little too late, huh? That's the monsoon direction, Utah, Arizona, further east of Colorado. Monsoon doesn't really hit the Great Basin so much, although some people think it does. A summer thunderstorm's a summer thunderstorm. You can get them California mountains, you can get them here. Doesn't mean it's a monsoon. Back at the waters of Mount Moriah, continuing northwards that way. It's pretty darn hot this afternoon. I'm in the shade of this sagebrush here, this old growth sagebrush. Kind of waiting for that sheet of moisture rich cloud to come cover the sun. I have a uphill journey ahead with full water. This is probably the last water stop before the car. Tomorrow sometime. There's a hummingbird after those. Oh, after those aquilegias. Any other red objects around here? So yeah, walking uphill in the hot, full pack again with in terms of water. Good 16 pounds of water, and it would really help to have that shade that keeps coming this way. A number of you have probably wondered what I do to treat water by this point. The answer is nothing. Nada. Nichts. Ničeho. I don't live in fear of some dead elk or deer or cow or whatever at the top of the stream. I'm not going to live in fear of that. I'm not going to carry, stuff that's really heavy, in my opinion, for that chance, that one chance in time. There's some kind of dead animal in the stream. Now, that's not the only worry, of course. There's cow crap contributes giardia and whatnot. I'd like to think I'm immune to giardia, that I'm one of those 10% of people or so, since I have sampled so many streams worldwide without any consequence. Ostensible consequence, that is. Yeah, and there's other things, there's cryptosporidium, but again, I don't try to live in fear, especially of stream microbes. There's a much greater force out there called COVID-19 in terms of microbes to be worried about. So no matter the quality, I just drink these days. I used to treat with UV light probably 10 years ago now is the last time I actually used that thing. I've carried it so many times since and just ended up considering it dead weight almost every single time. It's just not worth the wait. So that's that. I don't treat water. If it happens to be nasty and murky and mucky, there's a simple filtration technique called using a bandana to get all the crap out and make it clear on the other side. So if it happens to taste bad, you can put some little, I carry powdered drink mix stuff. I do carry that because I don't like to drink hideous tasting water. But the instances and chances of me even encountering bad water that I have to drink are quite rare indeed. Of course, cows, horses, and donks and whatnot, they seem to preferentially poop in water oftentimes, but that's just part of the game. You drink a little poopy water, and you live another day and you walk on. And that's that. After all, everyone has to scoop up a handful of donk poop water once in a while throughout life, don't they? Whether it's saying yes to your boss, to your spouse, going to stupid crap that your kids do that you don't want to do. That's the equivalent of me drinking some donk poop water. Okay? Those are big puffy clouds, and like yesterday's veneer, it's already halfway through the afternoon. I don't know, I'd give it a 50-50 chance perhaps. That Jeep track I was following up didn't take long to become a very faint single track here, enclosed by circle carpus thickets oftentimes. But the roads should pick up again in the next drainage, I guess. Very beautiful nonetheless. It's gone from a partly cloudy to a mostly cloudy day all of a sudden here, just topping out above the creek we were just at. So chances may be improving for rain. Maybe it's 65% now, huh? I tell you what, whatever the chances, it is tenebrous enough out there that I would not want to be on top of Wheeler right now. No, thank you. Let's say the chances of rain somewhere in this region are about 100% right now. Just heard some thunder. Of course, it would be a very bad thing if there were only an electrical storm without the precipitation alongside of it, which definitely happens. Let's say the fire danger is extremely high as it is across the region. And just one spark would do it. Source waters. It's a beautiful thing. Mariah's finally behind me. That's it to the south there. Both of its main peaks, I guess. It's been a slower day than I expected. I thought I was following an old network of roads, and it is a very old network of roads. But it's basically single track all afternoon along what's being maintained by cattle. Been seeing cattle poop and hooves along this track. Sure, horses and whatnot help once in a while. Deer and such. Even a lion or two. A coyote. But might have another full day tomorrow. We'll see. Because the single track continues. And at least it does. Through the rose thickets and all. At least there is a track. Because I'd be down there still if there were no suggestion of a path at all. It's very scenic and beautiful though, nonetheless. The step is actually a pretty bad place to be in a lightning storm. I've seen some bolts that way. Regardless of whether it's a full day or not tomorrow, I'm sure I'll reach the car still, especially considering the pack will not be reinvigorated with any water of any sort, meaning it's only going to get lighter and lighter and lighter over time, along with food being eaten. So there's that. And I'm glad my last night will be pretty cool. I'll be be sheltered in some trees no matter what. I don't want to sleep out in the wind. I hate that. But it'll be cool. The temps have been tempered by all these thunderstorms everywhere. Probably at 10,000 feet elevation sleeping tonight, so all told, I'm hoping it's a last great night out here. Well, this has been a shit show of a day. Walking south right now just to walk north, huh? God, I'm so sick of walking south, east, west, not north. At least it'll be a good sunset, though. You can count on that with all the thunderclouds everywhere. That's the last major peak of the journey, O'Neill. I'll be up there tomorrow no matter what. About 3 drops of rain fell last night, and it looks to have gotten itself out of its system. There was a thick layer of cloud very early on this morning, around sunrise. Disappointed to find it burning off, but it's maintaining somehow in that direction. Maybe building again. Can only hope. Can only hope. This likely last full day of this trek, I can only hope there will be some rain. There's Wheeler way out there. At this point I'm using the road system. It is hot. There's nothing in blossom. And I basically just want to go home at this point. So, heading that way. Just through the northern snakes. I'm not adhering to any ridge tops or anything. It's really nothing worth seeing up there anyway, in terms of blossoms, as we know by now. The clouds are offering a little bit of respite here and there, but geez, here's my shirt drying because it is quite warm. Be keeping things light and quick this last of presumed days. Running out of tape here, so want to keep some in the backup for any potential plants that may be of interest to photograph. And you know, never know what kind of wildlife we'll run into and stuff like that. Just continuing along the ridge here of the northern snakes, heading towards the car across the sagebrush steppe. Bushwhacking through sagebrush steppe and cercocarpus forest, mixed in with Abies concolor on the north faces. Past over an hour now, and I just reached this road system, which looks like it'll send all the way up to O'Neill. Once I'm on the other side of O'Neill, the general car area will be in sight, and we'll be almost out of here. The clouds are building back up for me again too, it looks like. There is our lady, O'Neill. Looking yummy, huh? I think I'm done with the roads after O'Neill up there. And it's a little bit of ridge and down a series of canyons, I believe. 10,000 feet and still sweating my ass off. Clouds are not. Light pack and all. Jeez. O'Neill's right in front of me. It's the next little bump beyond the trees. Beautiful flat forest right here. Here's the Crux Ridge. Here's the last high point. O'Neill Summit. What a fine last day. Now the ridge snakes a little bit more. I believe that's the namesake of the range at this point. Haven't snaked back and forth something like 60 miles now. I believe that's the last little climb in front of me. And it's just a little bump, isn't it? Appears to be a favorite route of horses. Horses actually carve out sensible trails, unlike cows, which scatter and never form one coherent trail. Therefore, horses are better. This Cercocarpus thicket would have been absolutely horrendous without the agency of the horses. I've begun the final descent from the ridge. See, it ends. The snake range is done. And I'm parked in that forest below, the valley bottom. Finally found the right wash here that turns into the canyon I need. There's a million little divides and drainages where the range ends in the far north here. And this little wash here is going to turn into a canyon and spit me out right next to my car. I cannot wait. I am dirty, tired, and I just want to go home. Okay? So, maybe one or two last missives and we're going to call the snake range done. So that took about 9 full days. Last Saturday, July 4th, I began, and today is Sunday the 12th, I guess. So, at a fairly blistering pace, the snake range yo-yo can be done in that time frame. This is basically called lion mode, where at a blistering pace, you just crush through everything in your path. Rough canyon just widened out into a road. So I think we're done here. Over and out, my friends.